Hi guys. Now sorry I haven't gotten a video to you in a while, but this video I'm doing right now is going to be very special. Now as you may know, I am dressed up as Indiana Jones, and you want to know why? Because in this video I will be reviewing to you all the Indiana Jones movies except Crystal Skull. Yes. So that is what I'm going to be doing in this video. And now, I'm probably going to do this every once in a great while when I feel like it. I just wanted to do it now because I'm dressed up as Indiana Jones. Like, I'll review a classic movie every once in a while, and I'll probably like dress up as a character from the movie. And yeah. So today I'll be doing Indiana Jones. Alright, let's get started. First up we have the one that started it all. You all know what it is. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, as you all know, this is just a classic movie. It really is. But what makes this movie so unique is that it's similar to Star Wars in the sense that when this first came out, people were enormously impacted by it, and the movie itself was just an homage to classic adventure serials, action-adventure serials from the 1930s. And I don't know if you know this, but George Lucas created Indiana Jones and Star Wars. Now, I don't care what you say about George Lucas, I still support the guy, even though Crystal Skull's failure was his fault, but yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay, now, let's talk about this. Raiders of the Lost Ark came out in 1981. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. You guys all know him. Lucas was kind of thinking of this idea of a story about an archaeologist who looks for supernatural artifacts, and he proposed the script to Spielberg, and he actually really liked it, and they started working on it. And now, before Harrison Ford was cast as Indiana Jones, Tom Selleck was originally going to be Indiana Jones. I don't know if you guys know that, but Tom Selleck, the guy from Magnum P.I., yeah, was originally going to be Indiana Jones. And Spielberg said that he liked him, but eventually Selleck couldn't do it because of Magnum P.I., so they went for Harrison Ford because he was actually available. And before this, Harrison Ford hadn't met Spielberg, and they met and they got along, and Harrison Ford signed up for 3 of them, and to be honest, this is one of Harrison Ford's best roles, to be honest. Probably his best. And I don't know if you know this, but Harrison Ford himself said that he liked playing Indiana Jones more than Han Solo. That's interesting. But yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark, classic, and it's about this archaeologist, Indiana Jones, and he is looking for the Ark of the Covenant, a supernatural object from the Bible. And along the way, when he's trying to find it, he meets up with his old girlfriend, Marion Ravenwood, and Karen Allen actually played her perfectly. And this is a very well-made film. And yes, it is an action-adventure film, but it's also a comedy, and it's very well done. And another thing about the action is, the action in this movie is actually very, very well done. Incredibly well filmed and very intense. And the music too, by John Williams, is unforgettable. Everybody knows it. Other than the Indiana Jones theme, there's also other great songs in this. And yeah, just a great movie, and the action that we get in movies nowadays is just cheap and overblown, like in Man of Steel, but yeah, this is quality action, and it is very well done, and this isn't necessarily just a great action movie, it's just one of the greatest movies of all time, to be honest. I've heard that this movie has been shown in film classes, film schools, and I can see why, because this is just a timeless movie. Everybody knows it. Every true film fan knows it. Anybody who's a fan of Steven Spielberg's movies knows it. And to be honest, it's great for that reason, and just a masterpiece, to be honest, just like the original Star Wars. But personally, I think the original Star Wars is the greatest movie of all time. And this is definitely on the list. And, yeah. So I will give Raiders of the Lost Ark a friggin' epic rating. Yes, that's how great it is. 100% flawless. Alright, now we move on to Temple of Doom. Okay, Temple of Doom. Now, this is technically a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if you know that. This is technically a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark because it takes place a year before, but it was eventually a sequel. But anyway, Temple of Doom. Now, when this first came out, a lot of people gave it negative reviews because people said, "Oh, it's too dark. It's not for kids." Well, I don't think it was aimed towards kids, was it? No, it wasn't. But I don't really care about those negative comments. I really love this. I really love Temple of Doom because it's so different from Raiders, which makes it better. And that's what I really like about the original 3 movies, is that they're all different from one another, yet so good in a different way. For example, Raiders of the Lost Ark had the best acting, and Temple of Doom had the best action. Temple of Doom is literally like action, 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 and it is so well done, and not overblown like it is in movies nowadays. The action in this movie is actually very, very intense, on the same level as it was in the first one. And I heard that the original cut of the movie was like non-stop action, like action every 5 seconds, but this is still very, very good. And like I said, I like the fact that it's different from the first one. And now, what's funny about this movie is that Indy is going after an object that is not true, that is not real, as far as I know. Because in the first one, he went after the Ark of the Covenant, which is actually an object mentioned in the Bible. While the Shankara stones in this, as far as I know, those things aren't real. But, and the Thuggies, and, yeah, I don't really mind the heart-ripping scene, to be honest. It's actually pretty weird, but it's awesome, too. And, like I said, I love the fact that it's different from the first one, and, Willie Scott, she just annoyed me, but short round, he was cool. And, yeah, I love the fact that it's different from the first one. Now, is this one of the best movie sequels? No, but I still like it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about Temple of Doom. And, I don't know if you noticed, one more thing. Steven Spielberg married her. Yeah, he married her. And, yeah, awesome. So I'll give Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom a frickin' awesome. Not as good as Raiders, but still good. Alright, finally we move on to Last Crusade. Now this is personally my favorite of all of them. Last Crusade, I mentioned that this is one of my all-time favorite movies. If you haven't seen my video of my all-time favorite movies, check that out. But this is just honestly the best one because it has the best story. From the beginning, Spielberg said that he wanted to make this completely different than Temple of Doom. He wanted to go back to the original spirit of the first one. And he said that he wanted to develop this relationship between Indiana Jones and his father. And Sean Connery just makes this movie flawless. Excuse me. Yeah, he does. Sean Connery was easily the best part of this movie. And another fun fact, Sean Connery was actually the original choice to play Indiana Jones, other than Tom Selleck. But, yeah, Sean Connery, he makes this movie awesome. And him and Indy have such a great relationship. Yes, they're father and son, but the relationship is so funny. And the way that they bounce back and forth, their chemistry is actually very well done. I mean, the first scene you see Sean Connery, he slams a vase over Indy's head, and he says, "Julia?" "Yes, sir." "It is you, Julia." "Don't call me that, please." "What are you doing here?" Can we get you? Oh God, that is such perfect introduction to him. Probably one of the best casting choices I can think of. I mean, other than James Bond, this is one of Sean Connery's best roles. And God, their relationship is so well realized in this. And the opening of this movie, where Indy is a kid, played by River Phoenix, that is also very good. And also the finale of this movie, when he's trying to get the Holy Grail, that is probably one of the most intense finales of any movie I've ever seen. And it's the story with Indy's dad and the Holy Grail. That is also very interesting. And I like the fact that the Holy Grail was the object they were going for, because that was actually a very, very true object. You know, the cup that Jesus drank out of in the Last Supper. But yes, very intense. But the action also is fantastic in this. The tank chase towards the end of the movie, fantastic. The acting, absolutely perfect and hilarious. Not to mention, I think Last Crusade is the best indie girl. Elsa Schneider, she was hot. But fantastic, the best out of all of them, in my opinion, and pretty much on the same level as Raiders. Fantastic, gave me everything I wanted, and it will always be one of my favorite movies and my favorite out of the four, and just absolutely perfect in every way, even though I don't really think the villain was as strong in this. Oh, I want to mention one more thing before I end the video. I don't know if you know this, but watching this recently, after a long time, I noticed how similar this is to Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I know it's weird saying that, but this is another third movie in the trilogy, but I realized how similar this was to Dark Knight Rises, in the sense that the main villain is actually a woman, and you don't really find that out until later, where the movie makes you think that this guy is the main villain, but he really isn't. The woman is the main villain. Even though I don't really count Talia as a villain in Dark Knight Rises, but yeah, just a little thing I was thinking of. But yeah, Last Crusade, fantastic, my favorite of the trilogy, not counting Crystal Skull, but yes, excellent. I'll give Last Crusade friggin' epic. Awesome. Alright, that was my review for all three of the original Indiana Jones movies. Now I know what you're thinking. Tell us what you think about Crystal Skull. I'm not going to review Crystal Skull, but I will tell you what I briefly think about it. Terrible acting, terrible writing, overuse of CGI, and you can blame Lucas for the aliens. It was Lucas's idea to put aliens in there. And Shia LaBeouf, he's an idiot. But yeah, that's it. Alright, see you later.